Cornelius Mathews was an American writer who was instrumental to the formation of the Young America Literary Group. Born in 1817 in Port Chester, New York, the son of Abijah Mathews and Catherine Van Cott, he studied at Columbia College, then at the University of the City of New York, and then finally he studied law at the behest of his father, being admitted to the bar in 1837. He began contributing his prose to various magazines a year earlier, but his first book was his 1838 collection, The Motley Book, a series of tales and sketches, followed a year later by his first novel and today's subject, Behemoth, a legend of the Mound-Builders. In 1840, Mathews co-founded the highbrow Arcturus magazine with publisher and biographer Evert Augustus Duyckink, which ran until 1842, featuring the works of Nathaniel, Hawthorne and Longfellow, among others. In 1846, Mathews wrote his most famous play, Witchcraft, or The Martyrs of Salem, which had a successful run in Philadelphia and was considered one of the strongest American dramas written before the Civil War. He was also known for his championing the establishment of an international copyright law. Mathews was, however, not universally liked. Edgar Allan Poe said his poem Wakonda had no merit whatever, and called his novel Puffer Hopkins one of the most trashy novels that ever emanated from an American press. Yet Mathews and Poe still became friends later on. Among his later works is a collection of Native American legends, originally published in 1869 as The Indian Fairy Book, and then reissued in an edited and expanded edition in 1882 as Hiawatha and Other Legends of the Wigwams of the Red American Indians. Mathews died in New York in 1889. Behemoth was noted by Alan A. Debus and literary historian Perry Miller to have possibly inspired Herman Melville when he was writing Moby Dick, and apparently Melville invited Mathews to his home when he was writing Moby Dick. The story concerns the mound builders of the American continent, with Mathews waxing poetical about all the races and empires completely lost to history, as he declares he will not present any clear summary of the mound builder society. The first quarter of the book is rather distant and hard to get into due to no individual characters being focused on, and the mound builders being presented as an anonymous uniform entity. The story concerns a giant mastodon suddenly descending upon the villages of the mound builders and smashing up and crushing everything and everyone in its path. The entire nation falls into mass depression when faced with the unvanquishable foe, but one of their chiefs, Bokula, leads a massive military expedition against Behemoth in order to destroy it, but they all get slaughtered apart from Bokula and a few stragglers. Depressed, Bokula goes on a long journey to try and discover a way to get rid of Behemoth, and decides to imprison him in a distant valley and let him starve to death. All the while several chapters are dedicated to the attempt of a diminutive mound builder with a drum going to try and topple Behemoth using a ladder. The story picks up when it starts to focus on Bokula and his journey, and the destruction wrought by the mastodon is described in great detail. The oppressive atmosphere hanging over the mound builders is handled very well. Of note is the fact that the book is actually shorter than it looks, because it ends with 60 pages of notes on contemporary paleontology and the history of excavations of mastodon remains, which I have decided to skip since these were current in 1839, but it may be of some academic interest to other potential readers.